Hello, this is Wino Atheist Scum, and I'm replying to a video by True 101 Story. True Story, I should call him, I guess. This is my very first YouTube video, by the way. Hello world. This is sort of my views on how exactly race realism comes about. I can sort of relate to how they get their opinions, but I can't relate to their opinions in and of themselves. I grew up in a white area, country area. We didn't have black people. They just weren't there. So when I actually met black people, I was surprised to find out that they didn't act in a way that was indicative of what I saw on television. And if all you have to go on is what you see on television, then of course you're going to come to these pretty extreme conclusions. And when you find statistics that are, maybe old, as you stated, or outdated or wrong, then they are going to sort of affirm what you believe, because until you actually have quality experience with people of that particular race and realize that they are just like you, and the race really has absolutely nothing to do with it, it's very easy to come to those false conclusions. And I think that it has a lot more to do with the culture in and of itself. For example, why is it that in this culture of ours, this American culture, we sort of portray black people in such a negative way when it comes to movies, music, and everything else? I mean, that there is, whether you want to admit it or not, there is a certain way that they're portrayed in the media. You sort of imagine somebody who uses a lot of slang language, has kind of weird hair, sort of put the brim of their hat perfectly flat, something like that. And a lot of that's based on reality. For example, there's a lot of slang words, but for example, at the same time, there's slang words that white people use, and and it's not only black people that put their brim of their hat perfectly flat or anything like that. When it really breaks down to it, I just think that they came to these views because they were sheltered for most of their lives and they didn't know any better. And when they sort of come across, black music, black media, stuff like that, it's easy to think that black people actually act like that, when of course, no, generally they don't. And if they do, then they're a walking stereotype and they should be mocked. Other than that, I think that, is it really worth spending time? I don't think we really need to spend a lot of time talking about why race realists are wrong. I mean, you can do it for your own right. You can definitely, pursue those discussions for their own sake. And I think they do sort of bring into our mind that it sort of confirms to us why exactly we think that race realism is a terrible thing. But at the end of the day, anyone who watches their videos will probably come to the conclusion that they're crazy. And they'll probably be like, whoa. They're self-fulfilling, they defeat themselves pretty easily. Whether they're not really worth arguing over, because they really just sort of argue themselves out of existence. And, yes, they do have a persecution complex and all that, but they're not actually being persecuted against nearly as much as black people in this country are. If you don't think that black people are getting persecuted against, just, as I said, check out any black culture, because if I were a black person, and I saw the way that my race was being represented on TV, movies, and in music, I would be livid. I would not be able to understand exactly why people would buy this and listen to this, and, and I would go out of my way to prove those negative stereotypes wrong. But I digress. I should probably say I'm not very well versed in racism through history or anything like that, but these are just my little 2 cents. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate a video comment. This is, once again, my very first YouTube video. And, if you would have any comments, basically on how I set up the YouTube video, anything like that, that would be great. I mean, I know you drive your little car around when you make your videos, but thank you for listening. Thank you.